If you're in your 20s or any decade of life, I'm going to show you in this video what to do to build wealth so that your next decade of life, you will be more wealthy. The first thing you have to look at when you're trying to save money is where you're going to live. It's not a bad idea to stay at home with your parents and save money that way. If you can't stay with your parents, getting an affordable apartment with a roommate is a great thing to do. When I was in my 20s, I really wanted to live in Scottsdale, so I got a place with a roommate of mine, but it was an expensive apartment. I had no business renting an expensive apartment in my 20s. I was only making $30,000 a year. If I would have rented something more budget friendly, I would have been able to put that extra money into savings and then A, not get into debt, and B, start to save money for investment properties. Another thing people like to spend money on are new cars. You don't need expensive cars when you're in your 20s. This is a time to be saving. When I was making $30,000 a year as a teacher, I bought a brand new Honda Accord. That was like over half my salary for the year to buy this car, and then I had a car payment on it. There's no reason you can't be driving the car you have now or getting a used car, or maybe if you're in a big city, you don't need a car at all. It's all these things to save you money because when you have a new car, you have higher insurance costs. If you're in Arizona, you have higher license plate costs. So you have to look at all of these little things because they all add up and they get you into debt and they take you away from saving. And then just the rest of it is just other stupid things people spend a lot of money on, like new cell phones, new clothes, the latest and greatest technology. All that stuff is going to eat away at the money that you're earning. And you may think, well, when I start to earn more money, then I'll save. But you won't. You'll keep buying more and more expensive of things. That's why you need to put yourself on a budget and stick to the budget. You can pick a vice that you really like maybe you're a clothes person, maybe you're a car person, but you can't be every kind of person because then you're going to be a broke person. The second piece of advice I have while you're in your 20s is to work and work a lot. Now, this may be counterintuitive to what Ken and I talk about because we always talk about working smarter and not harder and financial freedom. But the truth of it is in your 20s is when you have all the time and all the energy. You don't have kids, you don't have commitments, and you have that youth where you can work 3 jobs and save money. And sure, you want to work smarter and not harder and try to find creative ways to make money. But at the same time, now is the time to be making money because when you start to have a wife or husband, kids, all of it, you're going to have less and less time and more demands on your time. I actually did this. I was a really hard worker in my 20s because I was teaching, bartending, hostessing at a restaurant, coaching, cheerleading, a bunch of things. But my problem was I was spending all that extra money on stupid things. Back to point one. If I would have saved and invested that money that I was making, then I could have done much better in my 30s. Point number 3 is stay out of debt and stay on a budget. If you're not budgeting your money, then there's no way that you can keep track of what you're spending where. You need a very specific budget and a very set limit to spend on all the different things throughout the month. This is going to help you to save money and never ever put things on credit cards. When I was in my 20s, I got in $9,000 worth of credit card debt. When I quit teaching, I ended up having to move home and work for a year to pay it off. And the only reason I was able to pay it off so quickly is because I was living at home. But you don't have to do any of that. Just don't get in the credit card debt to begin with, and you'll be able to sustain on your own. Tip number 4 is side hustles. Side hustles are great when you are younger because, like I said before, you have the energy and you have the time to do them. And there's so many more side hustles now with the internet. Side hustles in my day were trying to waitress, plan, or bartend a friend's birthday party, pick up another kind of event that you could work, maybe hostess at a restaurant. They were very minimal options on side hustles. With the internet now, there's so many different side hustles you can do. You can dog sit on Rover, go on Fiverr and learn a SEO skill or some other kind of skill and pick up some of that hourly work. That you can Airbnb your apartment. There's so many things that you can do that you need to get creative with these side hustles, these passive incomes that you can kind of do on your own time to make additional money. And some of these pay really well. Like I know people that dog sit on Rover out of their house and they'll charge like $50 a night and have 6 or 7 dogs a night. So that can be really good money for you. So you really need to get creative now that there's such different ways to make money. And the last tip I have about getting wealthy in your 20s is to buy something. Now, I know those of you sitting there are thinking, well, I have no money. How am I going to buy something? But I think what most people don't realize is you don't need a lot to buy real estate on your first time purchase. There's a lot of different loans that allow you to buy with 3% down. 3% down is $12,000 on a $400,000 house. And when you buy something, you then rent the different rooms out to your friends. So instead of you and your friends going to get an apartment together, if you buy the house and rent the rooms out to your friends and your friends cover the mortgage, all of a sudden you now have a cash flowing asset. If you buy a cash flowing asset in your 20s, it will almost guarantee you wealth into your 30s, 40s, and 50s. It's not the easiest thing to do, but if you're doing the side hustles, you're working extra jobs, and you're staying out of debt and getting creative, you can easily save up that $12,000, $15,000 and buy something. I didn't buy anything until I was 28, 29 years old. And I really wish I would have done it a lot younger because it would really help you. And for me, I just bought a 2-bedroom condo. So you don't need to necessarily have a $400,000 4-bedroom house. Even if you bought a condo that was 2 bedrooms and you rented the room out to a buddy, they may cover most of your mortgage. And then you have a really low monthly payment versus if you go and rent something. And once again, then you own it. So owning real estate in your 20s is totally doable. And it's something you should really look into because that certainly will build wealth into your 30s and 40s.